Welcome to this week's EMBN show where, Chris, I am a legit e-biker. I'm going to tell you about it later on.
Oh, I can't wait.
But it's going to be a wicked show because it's also got an update on Ray's Scimitar build.
Yeah, taking a look at some new motors from Vizua, taking a look at Chris King's new wheels, and of course, much, much more, so stick around. Right, Mark, I hear you've been spending some time with some electric power in your hands, right?
Man, this bike has blown my mind. This is let me explain, right? I've been riding adapted mountain bikes since my accident in 2013, a lot. But they've all been like, e-assist in the terms of a throttle, and basically they're kind of like quite powerful motorcycles, really, that I can take onto the mountain bike trails because there's, not many of us riding those bikes. So it's been allowed, but this new Bowhead, it's called the RX, right, is a hand bike. It's got all the articulation and leaning capabilities of the normal Bowhead that I've had for a little while and we've had on the show and we've had on the channel. But this one is now a hand bike with a Bosch, traditional Bosch CX performance motor.
2 big batteries as well, isn't it?
Well, they're 500 watt batteries, but there's 2 of them. And it is, it's mega.
Can it climb up some crazy stuff?
It can go up some really cool stuff, especially as I'm doing it with only with my arms, so it's pretty amazing. We did have one hiccup. I went to Bentonville from Sea Otter where I picked it up. Unfortunately, the batteries didn't arrive, so we had to do a couple of videos with no batteries, and I can tell you what, it didn't work very well without the batteries.
They're not much fun.
It was heavy. It was heavy, yeah. But I am legitimately. I belong on the channel at last.
Well, I can't wait to get you, to shoot some videos of you out on that bike, do some games of bike, do some challenge rides, get out there.
Mate, you're in trouble. You're in trouble, yeah. But what about Ray's bike? It's all happening, finally. Should we have a look at what's going on with it?
Yeah, let's check in with Steve and Ray and see what's going on.
Hello and welcome to Ray's workshop, and today we're going to be looking at the possibility of future combined drives on e-bikes.
Yeah, what it's all about is getting the power down on the road.
Well, or the dirt track, and that's the subject of today's video. Let's start with some basics then, folks. Now, let's start with the way of changing gear. Now, the good old derailleur has been around since the turn of the century in many different forms. It was primarily designed for road use, but since around about 1964, we've been using the slant parallelogram system designed by Suntour. Of course, there's been some fine tuning going on and such things as index gears. We've even got electronic shifting on today's mountain bikes and e-mountain bikes. Has it made them any faster? Well, possibly marginally so. But we're joined by Ray, who is a big advocate for the gearbox, which seems to be the next step for mountain bikes and e-mountain bikes. And we've got lots on the market. We've got the likes of Pinion. Now that's a front-driven system, weighs around about 2.6 kilos with oil in it. We've got FE gear. And then, as I mentioned, Ray, a big advocate for the good old shimmy, the Shimano Alpine internal geared hub. There are others on the market, such as Kindene from Norway. But Ray, when we look at the internal geared hub, as opposed to the main system at the minute, which is a cassette and a derailleur, what are the benefits of let's forget about the motor, just about having an internal gearbox?
It's clean and tidy, and it doesn't get muck off the road. It's very reliable, and it doesn't break chains. And there's one thing that is important, and that is has no cross-chaining effect.
So yeah, do you know what, Ray, you're dead right. I mean, we've currently got systems, we've got 1x12, we've got 1x13 cassettes, and some of the time, those cassettes and chains aren't actually built for e-bikes, are they?
They're not. They're too thin, and they just don't take the power. And I know from what you've been saying in the past, when I've seen you out on patrol, breaking chains. I mean, you just won't do that. With this type of gear.
I mean, I have to be frank here. There are systems currently on the market, such as the Shimano Link Glide, which are higher strength. But I think the message for e-mountain bikers is the fact that you're going to have to replace cassettes, chains, and derailleurs because of the higher torque going through the system, aren't you?
There's a lot of wear in them. They're not made to give you a good ride. If you went to buy a car nowadays and you had that sort of gear system on it, it would be a lemon.
So some of the gearbox brands on the market, such as Pinion and Effigear, suggest that you could be saving up to 6 times the replacement parts costs just by having a gearbox on your bike. But that's one side of the story. What about having a gearbox and a motor? But just to recap, we currently have derailleurs and cassettes and e-bike motors. Now, a motor such as a Bosch motor weighs in around 2.8 kilos. If you match that with a cassette and a derailleur and a shifter, that's another kilo. So you're looking at a system weight there of around about 3.8 kilos. Now, before we go and introduce some of the combined drives on the market, we have to factor in that, don't we? Is that it's actually quite an efficient system to have a motor and a derailleur, isn't it?
It is, certainly. It's a sort of lightweight system and it's been around for a long time, so it's about as good as it can ever get. In fact, from now on, it's going to go downhill, really, because they're going to push it too far and things are going to get very thin and the chains are going to break more often. So let's say the derailleur is really at its day.
So what about then the possibility of combined drives? We're going to go into some of the fine detail in a minute, but what are your thoughts about a future motor with a combined motor and gearbox, such things as the Revonte?
Well, there's a good idea. The Revonte system is a good idea. It's a dual epicyclic type of gear, which has 2 motors, and that's very clever because you don't have any set gears. The gearing is variable and it's done by the controller. And I would say that that could be done by a computer, so you have auto drive. That's not a problem. That's the way it's going. I haven't seen it yet, but it's coming. So what we've got is hopefully a Ferrari bike with an auto gearbox. Yeah. Well, the cognoscenti like the old shifter. So I don't know where we're going on that one.
Yeah.
But what I do know is that if you are separating the motor from the gearbox, you have a choice, because you have a choice of manufacturers' motors, ones with very little gearing, which are very efficient and powerful, and you have a choice of the number of gears and the type of gears at the back. So you can start mixing and matching. If you have a motor from somebody with the gears integrated in it in one big lump, it will go wrong.
Why is that?
When it goes wrong, it's too much in a small space, to be honest.
Right, I mean, that's going to break people's hearts for you to say that. So you seem quite negative about that then, right?
Well, we've looked at motors in the past and they have got better. But there's a lot of electronics with a lot of mechanical bits in there. And if it goes wrong and you bought a motor for, say, £800, you won't be able to take it down to the bike shop to get it repaired. It'll have to go back. Now, if it goes back to the manufacturer...
but surely that's the same as with cars and motorcycles at the moment, right?
What are you going to do when your motor has disappeared back to the manufacturer? Do you think you're going to get it back next Wednesday? You won't. It might come back in 6 weeks. We know that most of us have got 2 or 3 bikes, so it's not too much of a problem.
Ray, I've introduced you to the likes of the Revonte, to the Vallejo system, to the FEV system. And when I'm at the shows, I'm thinking, wow, this is amazing. But you think differently. And a lot of the things you comment on are the fact that they have square cut gears. What's your problem with square cut gears?
Well, let's say spur gears.
Right.
And there's a lot of friction in them. And there's a lot of them. Lay shafts, drive shafts, counter shafts. And when you open them up, it's like Aladdin's cave. There's everything in there that's got sharp, lumpy bits in.
But what's the problem with it?
The problem is there's a lot of gears doing nothing. Let's put it this way. If you got a 12 gear set there, there's 5 that aren't doing anything. 2 batches of 5, there's 10 gears that aren't doing anything.
So we're talking efficiencies here then? Is that
you're
what
talking
you're
about
at?
Carrying a lot of weight and not getting a lot for it.
Right, okay.
That's my view.
Which is why the derailleur and the cassette is still quite an efficient system.
Absolutely.
Okay, here's some news. New motor from Fazua, the Ride 60, a more powerful motor, bigger batteries, but it can still be incorporated into this sort of like new generation of like lightweight EMTBs. So a much better system.
Yeah, biggest news here is that the battery size has been increased from 252 watt hours, which the old system was, up to a whopping 430 watt hours. So almost, well, not quite doubling in size. And you can actually use a 200 watt hour range extender, meaning you're going to get 630 watt hours of power out of this bike now compared to that older system. So a big jump in the battery range. And of course, the power of the motor jumped up from 58 Newton meters of torque all the way up to 60. So a couple of extra Newton meters. And the great thing about the Fazua system, obviously, it's really lightweight, minimal drag. And on these bikes that this system comes fitted, you can actually whip the battery out, put a blanking plate in there, and pretty much use it as a regular bike. It's that lightweight. So yeah, great stuff coming from Fazua. And of course, that battery range means you're going to get huge range out of a bike.
Yeah, another bit of news, right? This is very, very different, Chris. This is an EMTB BMX.
MTB BMX.
I don't really know what to say about this, other than, right, okay, I'm going to be controversial with this, okay? I like it.
I like it as well.
But I've asked some others around the building, including the cameraman, Matt here, and not many other people are in agreement with us, Chris.
I'm liking the colour, I'm liking the idea, I quite like the lines of it, but the only thing I want to question is single speed on an e-bike. Yeah, it doesn't, we've tested it out before, and unless you've really got that cadence, you're not going to get the support from the motor. But
yeah.
I think it's a good entry point for like a going around town fun bike.
That's what I thought, okay?
$1,199.
Yeah, that is a kick in the teeth, I've got to be honest. Matt, are you going to be spending money on this?
No.
I think this bike, right, it just looks fun.
Yeah.
And sometimes a really fun bike does bring someone into cycling who maybe wouldn't have done, it captures their imagination. And then who knows, they might be on like a specialised SL in like 2 years' time because they've finally come to their senses. But I like it. I think it's all right.
Yeah.
It's definitely news.
It's cool, isn't it?
Some sad news, Chris. A Dante bike shop in Florida burnt down.
No?
Right?
God.
No fun in this bit of the show, I'm afraid. It did burn down. It was because a single battery fire basically sparked in the shop and it destroyed the place. But we can do some good right now, right? Because they've got a GoFundMe page. It's linked in the description down below. So you can go there, chip in, and maybe we can get a Dante bike shop back running where it should be, because this is just a bummer of news, but we've got to talk about it. We want to help them out. So
E-bike fire's not good.
No, get involved with that if you can.
So from some sad news to some great news, we've actually got one of the most sought after hub headset manufacturers in the world, Chris King, producing wheels now. Now these look pretty special, right, Matt?
They do. Lovely carbon rims, and interestingly, right, Chris, they're recyclable.
Yeah, and they take apparently 50% of the trail buzz away from when you're hitting it. You know, you're not going to get that traditional stiff feeling from those carbon wheels. So,
not the trail buzz.
No, but it's just taking away that stiffness, because carbon wheels can be pretty harsh, right?
Yeah, because we don't want the stoke being taken away, do we?
We've got a lifetime warranty on these rims, and if you do damage them, they're going to take care of recycling these as well, so you're not going to get all those landfills, filling them up with carbon products, which is really good. The wheels themselves are called the Mountain 30s. They have 72 points of engagement, and of course that good Chris King buzz. 28-hole wheel spokes on these, and they're available in 29 and 27.5 wheels, but they do come at quite a cost, $2,550 for a set of wheels, which isn't crazy money, but it is a lot of money.
It is crazy money, but think about the bzzz.
And the weight of these things, 1.706 kilograms for a pair of wheels, so pretty lightweight.
Now, you may have noticed that I've got a brand new GMBN t-shirt on, but, okay, I don't want to steal the thunder of the show, so there's some brand new freshies on EMBN store too, right?
Yeah, it's looking pretty
good. New
round.
casual range.
Yeah, got t-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts in there, so be sure to check that out. And we've got some other good news as well, right, Mark?
Yes, we have. Well, I mean, I've just been at a few festivals and things recently. I went to a Sea Otter Classic and I went to the London Bike Show, the Cycle Show in London, and the vibe at all these events is amazing.
Good,
and it has got me so pumped for the Global Bike Festival. It's coming up. It's in June, 16th to the 19th in Sailback.
Yeah, all of us presenters are going to be there from off-road and road. We've got loads of great riding. Tom Cardy, Cara Beale, Chris Ackrick, and many, many more stars going to be there as well. So make sure you get your tickets. They're going to be down in the description down below. And we hope to see you there because Martyn will buy you a few pints.
Hang on a minute. Let's just stop it there for a second because I didn't agree to that, right? And people out there might be taking this serious. It's actually Dan Lloyd who will be buying all the pints. Okay, I feel like this might be ping-ponged around the channel.
Coming up this week on EMBN, we have a great week of content as always. And on Sunday, we're doing a really great video while Steve's been out there getting the most range from his Levo using that micro tune feature. So dialing that assist up in 10% increments apparently gives you a lot more range.
Nice. And we have got another one on Monday. It's the eco mode versus turbo mode, real data.
Nice.
Okay, we're really looking at the bike on the trail. What is the most effective way to ride your bike? I'm guessing in terms of economy, over
workouts, and
distance and stuff like that. But I can tell you it's definitely turbo.
Right, time for some comments from all the recent videos we've done here on the channel. And first up, we did a chain and lube maintenance video. Has had some good feedback, right, Mark?
Yeah, absolutely. Island Ariel says, I've had good results using spray cans of auto brake cleaner. Very quick process.
I can imagine that works pretty good, doesn't it? Dissolves all the grease pretty quick.
Yeah, that's a good one.
We've got one here from Visor SWP. He says, I don't believe for a second that you replace that quick link after every single week or ride or every time you clean your bike.
Well, the thing is, that's what's recommended. Okay, so that is what the manufacturer recommends. In all honesty,
it's up to you if you want to bend the rules, but that's what the manufacturers recommend for that one.
I don't change. In fact, you know what? I think I must have rode a chain with a quick link in it for like maybe a whole season once.
What, and replace for trials, right?
For trials, yeah.
It only costs about £2.
Yeah.
I value my nads a bit more than £2.
I know, but I'm all it's smooth power, Chris. Not all this chopping. You know what I mean? Got to get smoother.
It's not optional on an e-bike, right? Last comment from RGD 1977 says, whatever method you use to clean and lube your chain, it's always a pain. I can't wait for gearboxes and belt drives on e-mountain bikes. Not can we, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Gearbox is definitely going to be the way forward, I reckon. And maybe just a single speed chain, you know, to power it. Or I don't know about belt drive on a e-mountain bike.
I like the idea of belt drive because it'd be nice and quiet.
Yeah, but there's a reason why off-road motorbikes haven't used belt drives, right?
That's a good point. That's a good point. Send of the week. Yes, we are starting with an absolute banger shot here from Sebastian. This is nice, isn't it?
It is cool. Some great colours going on with this one.
It.
Nice bit of style. He's out in Montreal in Canada. Jump was located pretty close to my house in the woods, and it took about a week of building it. So he's getting out there building as well as hitting this and laying on the style. Nice work.
Yeah, nice one. The bike looking great in that shot. Next, we've got Tristan coming in hot. Look at that, using the other side of the bank there to a big drop. Not sure about that table. Not sure about that table. It's a big drop though, isn't it?
Sketchy run out as well, isn't it?
Look at him.
Levo's out in Halifax and Dean Woods.
I was sketchy down that hill then at the end. Well, good though. Like that one, Tristan, very much.
And to round it out, we've got Scott here on his Levo comp out in Mackenzie Basin on BC. Nice drop off here, nice and smooth. Look at that, nose in, two wheels together. Perfect landing. But that's it for Send of the Week. If you guys have got any videos, be sure to use that upload service. Pictures, videos, anything, stick it in there. It could be featured on next week's show.
I just wish Scott had been going up, not down.
So trial start.
It would have been great if he was going up. Sorry, Scott. Can we see that?
Right, it's time to go where in the world to see where you guys and girls have been riding your e-bikes. We've got some great entries in this week, and kicking it off, we've got Alec here with his Canyon Neuron 8 out in the Isle of Harris.
That looks awesome, doesn't
Doing the Postman's Walk and doing it the hard way, anti-clockwise.
Nice.
You ever done the Postman's Walk the hard way?
No, I haven't, but it's a cool looking trail. I really like it. That is quite the photo, Alec. Well done. Nice. Next up, out and about here is Alec on his giant trance, the Red Moon Valley. Oh, that is amazing. Argentina.
Looks like Utah. I thought
that is a special looking place.
I bet the grip out there is insane as well. Looks like
good.
slick rock. Next up, I think I might recognise this place.
A little bit of a train going on from Andy here.
At my local bike park, Wind Hill, we've got 3 Specialized Canevos sending it through on the red run there. Nice bit of style going on from those guys. Nice.
Last one. Oh no, next one. We've got one after this. Brian's Levo Expert. He's basically given us a lovely view of Pentlands. This is loving these lighter nights. Can get 3,000 feet of climbing in after work. That is not bad.
That's mind blowing, isn't it? You can get that sort of amount of riding in, you know, after work. Great thing about e-bikes. And to round it up, we've got Brant here on his Norco VLT out in Lakeland, Florida. Nice bit of style, sending a really good looking tabletop that is, isn't it? 15 foot in length as well, so bit of a set, nice colour coordinated kit on as well. Great stuff.
Lovely stuff. Now, if you have been out and about, and I'm sure you have, then make sure you use that uploader. It's how you can be on the show. You could be here next week being just absolute boss.
Exactly.
It's the Bike Vault, which is actually a GMBN idea from the Dirt Shed Show, but you stole it.
Yeah, but we do it better on here, right?
Well, let's try. Let's try. Starting off with Andy's Giant Rain in Smilog Woods in Innismardy, South Wales. How'd you say it?
Innismardy Butt.
Innismardy Butt. Okay, that is, what would you give that? I love the shot, actually. And I'll tell you what, he's got 3 o'clock, it's drive side. It's a great shot.
Tyre logos as well, look.
Yeah, well, Doddy would say the tyre logos aren't lined up, so...
It's nearly there. I'm going to give it a super nice thing.
Right, super nice.
Next up, we've got Ian here as 2022 Norco site out in Listerfield, Victoria, Australia.
Yeah.
Hell of a backdrop on there. First long ride on his e-bike. Absolutely loving it, and I'm loving that shot. I think there's got to be another super nice from me.
Okay, next up, we have got David. And his KTA Machina Power. Next up, we have got David's KTM Machina Prowler Exonic 2021. That actually looks like a high bike to me. That doesn't look like what it says on the description.
I think you're right.
I think that's a high bike. I think David's trying to get one over me, and you failed, David. Again, this isn't the first time he's done it. I tell you what, it's a nice.
I've ridden there. It's a good spot. So yeah, it's got to be nice, I think, for me as well.
Why is he trying to trick me?
He's trying to.
I don't understand. David, what's with you? Next up, we have got David again, and this time it is a KTM, and I think I've understood what's happening here. I can see what's happening here.
What's happened?
You're face to face to greatness. No, anyway, so I'm going off on another tangent. This is David's KTM Machina Prowler Exonic in that place you've ridden before.
It is. Finale de Gura, NATO base.
yeah.
I'm loving the graffiti as well.
The graffiti is amazing. The bike, I really like this KTM actually. Yeah. It's really nice looking. I would give this super nice.
Super nice, okay. Yeah. Next up, wow, this is pretty special. This is from Yuen Chang. He's got S-Works, Levo SL, and Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
Ever been to Kuala Lumpur?
I haven't.
I have. It is hot. It's hot.
Bike is quite hot as well. What are you thinking of those wheels? Mag wheels?
Nothing good.
Nothing good?
No, I'm not going to lie. I don't want to lie, Ian. Those wheels are horrible. It's no point me lying. They're not nice. So that's a nice bike. That is a nice bike. There's one there.
A super nice, but with a nice wheels.
No, you can't get a super nice but take the wheels off. I'm afraid it's nice.
Okay, moving on then. Okay.
Next up, we have got Jimmy's High Bike All Mountain. That is quite the shot. That's a super nice if ever I saw one.
I'm loving the mist on that shot and the bull rushes in the background.
Super nice.
Next up, we've got Ben here with his Orbea H30 out in Queens,
This
New
is
York
nice.
City,
This
Forest Park.
Really, I
Old
do
school
really like
biker enjoying his first e-bike.
Yeah.
Nice mix of components on that. I'm loving that actually.
That's super nice from me.
Super nice from me as well. But that is it for this week's show. Let us know what you think about Ray's new Scimitar. Is there anything you'll change on that bike, or are you considering maybe going to hub drive gear yourself? Make sure you give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe to us here on EMBN, and of course book those bike festival tickets down below.
Absolutely, and let me know in the comments down below, am I a real e-biker now or what?
Yeah, you
am I part of the club? Let me know. Can I join? See you next week.